Hey y'all, I'm in the car, obviously. Welcome to my janky productions, but I have to be a realtor today. And this is what it looks like. I spend the most of my time on the road or in an office. Real estate is 24/7. I have a Natasha and I have a mold inspection on a property today. And while Natasha is outside getting bit up with mosquitoes, talking to the inspector, I'm in the car in the AC because I got bit. I don't like it. So I got in the car and decided to do a reading. The world is buzzing about P. Diddy right now. I really hate to have did that reading yesterday because everybody else is reading on it. And so I can't stand apart. You know, I like to do readings either before everybody else gets on it or way after everybody's moved on. Because then y'all can see, you know, what I can do better when not everybody is saying the same thing. The energy is so crowded. So I'm going to hop around from Diddy and kind of start looking at the people around him. I've been kind of doing that. This is probably going to be my third reading on Caresha. And that's who this reading is going to be on, just because I want to see what her energy is like now that Diddy is currently on the run. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me put some of this on my mosquito bites because I think I got one on my foot too. And I didn't even realize it. Ooh, yes, sorry. So we're going to look into Caresha. This poor baby just been walking around since he got off the bus, and that was like 15 minutes ago, and now he done took his shirt off. I want to ask him, baby, is you lost? Where your mama and them at? Where you supposed to be at walking up and down these streets? Y'all, I'm gonna hurry up and do this reading so I can check on this baby and make sure he get where he going safe, because he don't look like he got a home to go to, but he got on clothes and a book bag. But where you going, baby? You got off the bus stop down there a whole 15 minutes ago, and now you've been walking. All right. Sorry, y'all. I be concerned about the babies. All right. Caresha. Most High Mother and Father God, please allow me to conjure up, speak to, and see the soul and the spirit of Caresha, aka Young Miami. Compel her to speak to me, and may she keep nothing hidden from me. I need some more Florida water so I can shift my focus. All right, there we go. Whew, now we shifted. Ooh, all right. Caresha. Caresha, Young Miami. Come and talk to me. I don't want to talk to you, girl. That's what I hear in my mind. I don't want to talk to you, girl. Caresha. Spirit, if Caresha was sitting in front of me and were asking me to divine a message for her from the Most High, from the spirits, from Source, what message would you give Caresha if she were asking for a message from the spiritual realms and asking me to deliver it? Spirit, if Caresha could see this video and could hear me, what would be your message to Young Miami from her ancestors and from the divine source? A personal issue reaches resolution. This is full moon in Cancer. This is usually a family-ish card because it's a Cancer card. Cancer in astrology rules the fourth house. The fourth house is the house of family, early childhood environment, the home you grew up in, the people you grew up around, your parents, grandparents, step-parents, things like that. I do know that Young Miami's cousin was specifically implicated in that lawsuit, Lil Rodney's lawsuit against Diddy. A win-win outcome is forecast, but it was in reverse. A new start is coming. Your commitment is being tested. Take time to breathe out. A time for healing. Young Miami and her cousins, because even though all we heard about was her cousin being implicated in that lawsuit, Caresha also has to deal with the feds. They are shaking down and speaking to everyone that was a close association or affiliate with Diddy. And since Caresha was a public known close affiliation with Diddy, because she was grandstanding and stunting on everyone, because she had finally snagged a high value sugar daddy, and she was all online flexing and texting and typing and hyping and go popping and pussy popping and telling women online that if Diddy wanted them to eat her vagina, she could make him. Listen, Young Miami, that's the problem with being young, dumb, full of cum, and not smart enough, and getting a little beside yourself, smelling your britches, smelling yourself, and that shit come back around too. It's a reason why no woman of Diddy's age in their right mind was dealing with Diddy for anything serious or even wanted to. You don't think that they're... Listen, first of all, anyways, and now, yes, based on those cards, Caresha, you know that you're gonna have to sit up in front of the feds. Now, whether or not you get charged or with anything, because some people would probably call you a victim too. Even some of the feds might call you that, because they look at it like this is just a young woman who was doing these things so that she can make a life and a living for herself, a young girl out of poverty. Or at least that's what you would like to have us thinking. You would like to have us think that you're playing it real cool right now. But Caresha, this is not how you envisioned your life to go. This is not what you envisioned to get out of your relationship with Diddy. And if you did believe that this was going to be on the horizon, you never would have been grandstanding in front of people like you were. So I do sense a lot, I won't say a tinge of fear, a lot of fear from Young Miami. But we'll see what the cards have to say, because her cousin was specifically implicated. So by proxy, she will be too. All right, Spirit. Caresha, talk to me about how you feel about Diddy being locked up. I don't want to hear the story. I'm sorry, y'all. Some cards fell on the ground. I know that you seem to be unbothered online. Are you really unbothered? Do you really have nothing to worry about because you were not involved in anything that should have you in fear? Or is there a hint of anxiety? Caresha, talk to me about how you feel about Diddy and his house is getting raided by the Homeland Security, and tell me what this means for you. If it means nothing for you, then tell me that. Caresha, Most High Mother and Father God, please compel Caresha to tell me about how she feels about P. Diddy getting locked up, or not locked up, his sons being apprehended, him possibly going on the run, and his homes being searched by Homeland Security. Compel Caresha to tell me about how she feels from her soul, not her mind, body, her soul. Speak to me from your soul, Caresha, and keep nothing hidden from me. How does Caresha feel about Diddy going down? If Caresha is online pretending like oh, I'm good, I'm right here, when somebody asks, where you at, Caresha, and she like, I'm right here, getting ready to have fun, or whatever she was saying this summer. This is what Caresha is really feeling like. This is card of anxiety. This is the card of anxiety. Look at this person. Do they look like they preparing to go have fun? Or do they look like they're anxious about a bed that they made that they're having to lay in? Especially from their words and communications. and from others' words and communications. Caresha is shook. This is the current position, present position. Shooketh. And I knew I was going to see this because I ain't no fool. We weren't born yesterday. We know shook. You have a lot of reasons to be shook. Even if you didn't do stuff bad, like your fans are online, why should she be worried? She should be worried. If the feds are going to look into Diddy, they're going to look into everyone around Diddy. And y'all know Caresha got reasons to be shook. Y'all can play up too. This is why I don't get involved in this stan culture, why I'm not reading no more of them Instagirl influencers girls. And the only reason I'm reading Caresha is because she's tied into some deep, heavy shit. Otherwise, I wouldn't read her either. Because the fans, the people that follow these girls, I ain't seeing all of y'all, but it's like you let your love and your worship for these people make you obtuse to real life stuff. Whoever said Caresha has no reason to be afraid, why wouldn't she? And she does, and she is. Challenging her is Caresha said things online. Most specifically, I think that she's thinking about that tweet that she made about Gina too. Because this is my card that I usually get in my personal readings when I'm being told to post a video online. On my channel, post a reading. My spirits are telling me, like, if I say, all right, spirits, what do I need to do today to have the best, most successful outcome for my day? If I get this, and I have, they're telling me you need to post some videos, post some readings on your YouTube channel. This is in reverse. This is not sharing information. So for one, this is in Caresha's challenging position because Caresha will have to speak to the authorities. She may not be one of the big fish on the totem pole, but anything that she has to say would be used against her in a court of law. It would be used against Diddy. She knows it. She does have things that she can say that the feds would be interested in. Her challenge, though, is now she wants to not talk. Now she wants to be low-key. Now she doesn't want to be associated and affiliated. And now she's concerned about her things she said in the past while she was grandstanding being used against her. Also, things that other people are saying about her and her associates, like her family. Recent past, Young Miami, too late, tried to disassociate herself from Diddy. Too late. Which is why it's the Ten of Swords in reverse. Because it was too late when she already started trying to disassociate herself. It was too late then. It was too late, Young Miami, when you start fooling with Diddy. It was too late then. It was too late 5, 6, 7 years ago. It was too late when you entered the picture and Diddy needed you to help rebrand himself. It was too late then for you to disassociate yourself from this sinking ship and the damage that you did to yourself. You did a lot of grandstanding when you were up with Diddy and thinking that you was about to be the next Naomi. Because you weren't trying to be the next Cassie. You was trying to be the next Naomi. But the difference is Naomi and Diddy aren't blinking each other. You wanted to be his partner, his Ghislaine. You wanted to be his Ghislaine. His lover, homie, friend, business partner. That's what you wanted, allegedly, Young Miami. That's why I don't see it for you. Because I read your spirit. You're one of the people who I don't see it for. Because I see your soul. I've read Diddy before. I see it for Diddy. Diddy is rotten for a reason. You rotten because of you're a product of your environment. The Hierophant is in the near future for you. This came out in Diddy's present position yesterday, upright. Y'all remember, this was the first card I pulled out for Diddy, and I said the feds. This was the feds. This in reverse is in Caresha's near future. This could mean that in the near future, Caresha will not be asked to speak to by the feds yet. This could mean that she will talk to them, and in the near future, you know, she will have gotten her portion out of the way. I'll clarify this. Crowning Caresha, attorney. I don't know if it's Diddy's attorney that's overseeing her. Probably is his team, because they would like everybody to be on one accord. If Caresha were to get her own attorney, Caresha's attorney would be making sure that Caresha's interests are protected. So I do believe that Diddy's team is advising Caresha. Because they want to make sure that Diddy's protected and all involved parties are on one accord. And they're advising her to shut up. Don't be seen, don't be heard. Stay off social media. Caresha was very much engaged in everything that Diddy was involved in. And yes, she may not have been around him in his heyday when he carried out most of his crimes, his heinous crimes, but the things that he's doing now are still felonious. They're still just as heinous. And this card tells me that Caresha enjoyed the part that she played in it because it benefited her. Caresha, you are being watched. You are on the people's radar. You have been spoken about by the people who are working with the feds that were also in Diddy's circle. Your name has absolutely been brought up, passed around. I'm anxious to see the outcome because your name is in it, Caresha. They're talking about you too. Hopes and fears. Caresha's going to try to do as many gigs as she can to be booked and busy, because this will also, in her mind, this also disassociates herself from the mess. It's almost like, Caresha, you just continue on business as usual. So we'll see Caresha in many places where, like, why are you here, girl? What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be worried about this? Caresha gonna be trying to be booked and busy. She's gonna be trying to be booked and busy. She's gonna try to get back to her legitimate gigs so that she can make it seem like she wasn't involved in any illegitimate things. She's gonna try to get back on the scene and rap and be a rap girl and a influencer girl and all of that, so she could say, no, I wasn't doing that. I've been doing this my whole time. This is how I've been, you know, I am an artist, so this is how I've been getting this and doing this. It's not because of Diddy. However, Caresha, you in it. And you will have to fight your way through the system, through your legal affairs. While Diddy is sailing the 7 seas, you're going to be left to try to figure out how you can keep yourself afloat and out of jail or whatever Diddy might be involved in. But you will have to navigate your way through this Diddy mess. Nine of Swords in Caresha's present position. Y'all, Caresha want to be on that plane with Diddy so bad. She do not want him to leave her here to deal with all of this. Nine of Swords. Caresha, you were involved in the shenanigans. This was Diddy being the ringleader. This isn't you. You're not the magician. But the problem is, it's the Nine of Swords, because you knew that you was dealing with the devil Diddy. You knew very well who he was, what his reputation was, what he did when you met him. You got into this fully aware of the type of person you were dealing with, and you were in with the shits. because you wanted to be a star. And you were just so happy to have snagged such a star. And you know that this puts you on a pedestal above all the other girlies being with Diddy. You were grandstanding. You knew what you walked into. And that's why you walked into it. Caresha, though, this is sad for you because all you got out of it was a little bit. This is what you thought you were walking into. But even though you thought that you were the main girl and you was grandstanding in the grand scheme of Diddy's picture, you were just a page of pentacles, an employee. Page of Cups reverse, challenging position. Judgment. Diddy has already been fighting allegations in court legally. There is a judgment that came with the Homeland Security. There was a warrant that had to be signed off on by a judge. Caresha, you're in this with Diddy. The feds know. You are on the feds' radar simply because the lovers came out right behind this judgment card, and we're talking about what's challenging you. You needing to stay quiet because they know that you were Diddy's girlfriend. The feds know. Don't think that you're not on their radar. Could Caresha also be running away with Diddy? Could Caresha be somewhere on an island too? Because I got this in Diddy's Hopes and Fears. This is probably Caresha then. Because if they get to her and get her to talking, he's going to jail. So he's hoping that she's as solid as she says she is. And that she stays solid and loyal. Caresha, they want to talk to you about a death. And other things that went on in Daddy's house. You saw something. I don't know if you were there when his son got involved in something, but Caresha, you were there at the house when one of the crimes that they're investigating took place. I don't know if there was somebody who was restrained and being kept from leaving the house. This sounds like a specific situation where someone was being held against their will at the house or at a property. And Caresha was there. Allegedly. That's what this looks like. That's what they want to talk to her about. They want to know about what you know about Kim Porter, one of his other baby mamas, his wife. Caresha, they feel like you were involved in the shenanigans because your name has been brought up. I do see a specific incident here, though. There was somebody who we may hear about them being restrained, held against their will, not able to leave when they wanted to. And Caresha may be brought up in that situation, allegedly. Ten of Swords reverse. When all that shit start happening, with all the allegations start coming out, that's when Caresha, she did get dismissed by Diddy. I said that he had to let go of his whole harem, put them on ice because he had to lay low. That's when Caresha started to try to disassociate herself from Diddy. And kind of ease her way out of his situations. But it was already too late by then, Caresha. because everybody knew that you were a part of the shenanigans, a part of the parties. You're like a fixture at the parties, like Cassie was. You're a part of it. Near future. That's what I want to see with you. The Hierophant in reverse. Wheel of Fortune, Caresha, you may evade being implicated in a suit or anything. The Hierophant reverse, though. Caresha, what may be in your favor is that you may not have been around for the things that they want him for. Or it could look like you were just a paid prostitute and not one of the purveyors. You could look like you were just somebody that was hired as well, just like most of everybody else. You could look like one of his hoes. What's going to save you, Caresha, is that what's going to come out is you were just one of his paid prostitutes. You're going to look like one of the ones who was trafficked, not one of the ones who was arranging the trafficking. You weren't even around to set it up. So that's what's going to keep you out of any serious allegations, because you came around after whatever Diddy had going on was already established. And even though you thought that you was a HBIC, in the grand scheme of things, you were no different from somebody that was out on the track getting his money. You were just one of his girls. Even if you think that you were a boss, you were just one of the girls that he was prostituting out, allegedly. Nine of Cups. King of Swords reversed. The Hangman reversed. Ace of Cups. Caresha, Diddy never lied to you about who he was or what you would be doing with him. You signed on willingly. So no, Caresha was nobody's victim. And yes, she knew everything about Diddy, past, present, and future, because her mama put her up on game. She saw it as an opportunity. She accepted it. Caresha knew she was a hoe. A very well paid one. But Caresha knew what she signed up for. I'm looking into this where I said originally, she was a willing participant in this. She saw it as an opportunity she was approached with. She accepted it and took the job. To jump on the dig. And all night sucker on the wig. Allegedly. Who's snitching? This Ace of Swords in your external energy. Caresha, just like I said for Diddy, somebody that was close to him in on the shenanigans is snitching. They're feeding information about you too. They're talking about you specifically though. Probably some things that you did on the trips that you went on with Diddy. The yachting, all of that stuff overseas. They're talking about that, Caresha. The parties, your participation in what you did in the parties. You're being brought up in relation to his sons. I wouldn't be surprised if the sons did you too. You just, whoever, you know, whoever's there, everybody's doing everybody, or whomever Diddy tells you to pleasure and please. I see both of his sons though having their way with you, and whomever else, but the sons specifically. That's what somebody's saying. But they're talking about you and you being, you know, your activities. I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of his sons that they're talking to now because they have them in custody. The sons would be able to attest to the freak-offs because they was there for that. That may be the only thing they want to talk about. And because they wouldn't be afraid to talk about that and say how everybody there was a willing participant. They're talking to the sons, and the sons will tell some things. But it won't be serious things. It'll be about the freak-offs and who was involved in the orgies and stuff like that. Because they want to get to the trafficking stuff. So the boys, the sons, are going to say it wasn't trafficking. We having orgies. Everybody's grown, consenting adults. And that's how Caresha, you know, is up in this. Let me look into the outcome. Caresha, you will be a part of these conversations about Diddy. I think we'll be talking about things that you've done overseas, the prostituting overseas. Since we're talking about trafficking, they're going to start talking about you celebrity girls and what y'all really doing in Dubai, what y'all really be doing overseas. All of your favorite influencers, not just the Careshas, Ari's, Jada's, all of them, even up into your favorite singers and celebrities, all of them are doing these things on a lower scale, on a higher scale than others, but they're all doing the things, y'all. So this isn't news to anybody in the industry or anybody who can see into the industry. However, what we'll hear about Caresha, it won't be that she was a Ghislaine. It will be that she was one of the girls working. Because at the end of the day, Caresha, no matter what you thought, Naomi is Ghislaine. And you would have never been that. Ever. 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 But fortunately for you, you won't go down in this like a criminal. You'll go down in this like a hoe. All right, you guys. And none of this is any shade to Caresha. This is 100 because I'm talking to people who knew what they signed up for. So I don't have to be cutesy. None of these people would be offended if they was getting a reading from me. And if you're the easily offended type, never get a reading from me, because I will say things in love, but the spirits that work through me, they're like old big mamas, old slave women. The ones that wasn't scared to tell you in love that you was a silly as they come, young, dumb, and full of cum. You just a silly tail heifer. Let me learn you something. That's the same energy you get from me, because that's how my spirits work. So if any of these messages seem harsh, why would I have kid gloves with Caresha when she walked into this very knowingly, and now she's in a bind and she's scared? But you want to be about that life, you know, and then you want to grandstand on people who, as if they're broke and can't get the type of lifestyle you get. Most people with sense, most older women, they just got sense and they know Diddy. And you know, and we already knew this day was going to come because we was around in the 90s when he was around and, you know, doing the shenanigans. And we know that in life, nobody gets off scot-free when you do too much. And I was telling a friend last night, the problem with these people who get caught up is they do too much. They don't know when to stop. The power goes to their head and they feel invincible. But at the end of the day, the universe and universal law is going to require a payment for everything that you've taken. So if you've gotten wealthy by hook or by crook, that's fine. It's not my job to judge you. But I will tell you, if you want to continue to be able to maintain your status that you've acquired in life by hook or by crook, know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Do your dirt and then stop doing dirt for a while so you can clear out that energy and do some good. And then go back and do your dirt. I don't judge you. I'm just saying, when you do too much, when you do too much and overdo it, but you don't give back for balance, which is why when it was too late, he started trying to recreate his inner image and have that new baby and then call himself love. That was Diddy trying to clear out that karma. But his spiritual worker should have told him a long time ago when she was doing juju to help him by hook or by crook. She should have told him. Just like getting your taxes done every 7 years, bad credit files off of your credit report. Same thing. Do your dirt to get rich and famous, and then go through a 7-year period of just chilling, doing good, and then resume your shenanigans or whatever. But you have to give balance. If Diddy was my client and all he wanted to know was how to, by hook or by crook, get rich, I'll tell you. But I'll also tell you to maintain it, Diddy. Don't do too much, because the energy, the universe is going to require you pay your debts. So pay it before the universe makes you pay it. But who am I? Anyways, that was my Diddy. That was my Caresha reading. She'll skate because she'll look like an employee instead of a geese lane. But she will have to address the law. She will have to be spoken to. And she is shooketh. So don't let her play y'all and think she ain't, because she is. And she has reason to be. All right, you guys. Love you. Bye. If you're a criminal and you want to know how to do your dirt and stay out of the feds, call me. I got juju for that. And I do consultations, $50 1 hour. I can tell you how to stay out of jail if you're doing dirt. Call me. Love you. Bye. Oh.